Hello, this is Brett Lonsdale from Lightning Tools, and we're going to take a look today at Social Squared for SharePoint Online and also for Microsoft Teams. So, first of all, I just want to introduce you to Lightning Tools and who we are. So, we're a SharePoint company. We've been providing tools and web parts for many years now, and we were founded back in 2007 by myself and also a former colleague. So, we provide a number of different products that provide gap fillers for Microsoft SharePoint and also for Microsoft Teams as well. And they include things like permissions management for both site owners and also tenant administrators or farm administrators if you're using SharePoint on premises. We also have a content aggregation tool for all SharePoint environments as well as data visualization, data connectivity tooling, list forms editor, and of course discussion forums, which is what we're going to be taking a look at today. So myself, as I mentioned, my name is Brett Lonsdale. I'm here in the UK, and we also have an office based out in Florida, out of Orlando. I'm quite regularly speaking at different events throughout the world, mostly US and Europe, but also the organizer of one of the events here in the UK as well, which is SharePoint Saturday. You'll also find me on techsplaining.net, which is a podcast, so you can listen to us. There's a group of us, the SharePoint MVPs, and we introduce different topics around SharePoint, Teams, and Office 365 in general. So if you're going for a run or anything like that, and you want to learn a little bit about SharePoint, then jump onto techsplaining.net, and obviously you'll be able to hear us there. All right, so let's take a look at discussion forums first of all, and rather than jump straight into Social Squared, let's just talk about forums in general, because I'm pretty sure that everybody on this call at some point has Googled something, and the result has not come from an organization. It's not come from any form of official answer to your question, but it's actually come from other people. So you could be frustrated about something. It might be the best way to cook something. It might be you've got a problem with your car and you're trying to find out what the problem is. Maybe you've given some advice. You've been given some advice and you want to check up on that advice. It could be all sorts of things like parenting questions and so on and so forth. You tend to Google search these questions or Bing search these questions, and fortunately there's other people out there that have probably had a similar question in the past. They've either got help or they've figured it out for themselves, they've had an experience with it, and rather than just keep that to themselves, they've decided to post what that question was and what the answer was. So we have people in need that are posting questions, other people that are wanting to help those people with questions, and of course that gives us a great platform to get different opinions on things, but also to be able to find knowledge, and that knowledge is usually verified as well, because there's moderators who will make sure that the post is in the right place, it's been answered correctly, and also the original poster, we get feedback that way. So if we did ask a question, it could be what's the best wiper blade to fit to a model car, and somebody there will respond to us with the actual wiper blade that they fitted to their car, which was great. And of course that can be marked as helpful or marked as answered, and that gives everybody who experiences the same question that feedback. So imagine if that can be put into your organization. So rather than being something that's external and internet facing, it can be something that's inside your organization, where when people have questions about what's the best way to maybe claim your expenses because they're new to the business, or where can they get help on a certain subject, or when they open Word, this is happening, they can post these questions and receive answers from other people that have experienced that same question before. And it doesn't just help the person that originally asked the question, it's helping anybody in future that may ask that same question. And a good example of that actually is if we just go into another screen here. And what you'll find is inside the Microsoft Tech community, there's forums, and what we can see here, somebody's actually looking for some form of tab in Teams that would provide a standard web forum so people can post a topic and others can reply to the topic, basically the same way that these forums work. So that's what people want. And you can see here how many views that post has had, how many people liked it, and how many replies there are. And this is not official replies coming from Microsoft. It's replies from other people inside the community. So we can see of those 14 replies, some suggestions, like maybe use user voice to post a question there and see if you can get Microsoft to help in that regard. Or maybe this one here is a suggestion. So prefer using Teams to using this forum and so on. So that's one opinion. Notice it didn't have any likes. So we've also got anonymous users replying, which is useful. Sometimes you may want to reply anonymously, and so on. So there's lots of different people with suggestions, and somebody also suggested Yammer as an answer. So there's apparently going to be or is a Yammer tab that you can add to Teams. But yeah, it's saying it's not quite what you want. But maybe it will help you, and that's actually a good point. Maybe Yammer isn't the same as forums. It doesn't provide the same functionality. So, like I say, this could be a forum type discussion, and the cool thing about this is that you can mark things as answered. So if somebody provides you with a reply, it can be marked as answered, but also other people can like other people's replies as well. And like I said, this is not just helping the person who originally posted the question, but it's helping anybody that wants to have that same form of functionality and look at the all of the different responses that they've got from other people in the community wanting to help the person who raised the question. So what we can do is take that kind of functionality and make it available to your organization. And we can make it available to your organization where people are doing their work. So like the request there was, I want to have it in Teams, or you may want to have it in SharePoint, or you may want to have it on your mobile phone. And that's exactly what Social Squared can provide to you. So just a quick thought, what happens if you can't find help? So one of the things you're probably going to do if you can't find help is actually email somebody. And that's the exact opposite. If you email somebody a question, the person that asked the question may get the answer that they needed, but the only person it's benefited is them. If you were to post the question somewhere in a forum, then it's going to help your team members, it's going to help people that may be starting the organization in 12 months or 24 months from now, and it can continue serving. And what you're going to end up with is somebody that experiences the same problem in the future may search on it first, may find the answer that they want that's stored inside a Social Squared, and they can also mark that as, yeah, your answer helped me. We'll mark that as a verified answer, and like I say, it can go on to serve other people, and that avoids somebody getting frustrated, wasting time, moving on to something else, getting distracted, and all these other things that we do when we can't find the help that we need. So Social Squared provides really the solution to this. There are other social tools available for SharePoint and Teams and also your mobile device. These include things like Yammer. So we have a Yammer app where really that's a social networking tool within inside an organization. We've also got inside of Teams, you now have conversations. So you can post topics and people can reply to those topics and so on. Both of these, both Yammer and Chat, are a continual feed. So it's in the order in which the post and the response was created. So if you were to look for a problem to if you were to look for a solution to a problem, can you imagine going into Yammer or going into the Conversations tab inside of Teams in order to find the answer to your question? You're not going to see it right at the very bottom unless you're extremely lucky. So you're just going to keep on scrolling up, 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 and up until maybe you might find somebody that had that same question. It's not something that you can easily search in the same way that you can search a forum. To search an answer in a forum, we just simply go to Google. If it's an external forum, we can go into Google, query our problem, and we're likely going to get an answer from a forum somewhere from somebody else that's experienced the same problem, and that's what we can accomplish here. So Social Squared gives you that. It's simple to use. It can be hosted inside of SharePoint, inside modern sites. It can be hosted inside Teams as a tab. Also coming is you can host it as a personal app inside of Teams as well, and it's also available for your mobile device. So let's have a look. Let's see it in action. So what I'm going to do here is just jump into SharePoint. And what we've got is the Social Squared app already added onto a modern page. So I've already gone through and created some content in here just as an example. And this is in a human resources team site inside of SharePoint. And what you can see here is I've got some different forum groups. So there's a forum group around benefits. There's a forum group around skills or training, around diversity and culture. So if I had a question that was to do with benefits, of course, I could go to the HR team site, and under benefits, under that forum group, I'm going to see the different forums that may help me. So if I had a problem or I wanted to have more of an understanding about childcare offerings inside our company, then I can go into the childcare forum and we can see what topics have been created in there. In fact, in this case, is actually only one topic for childcare, so I can navigate into that. We can see the topic that somebody created, and I can go through and respond to it. So what I might want to reply is a way of improving this system, or we could reply with my experience of it, or whatever. So we'll just put in something short and sweet. So we'll put, this is great. Notice how we've got this rich text toolbar here, where I can really emphasize the word great using some of the different highlighters. We can also put emotion icons in there. We can insert images if we want to, so we can drop in the image URL or copy paste the image, whatever we want to do there. And of course, you can insert hyperlinks and bits and pieces like that. We've also got the ability to add tags. So we can put in childcare as a tag. Against that, it's going to suggest other tags that I've used before, and also I can go on and add multiple tags as well so that the content is easily found. So then I can go and hit reply, and that's it. That topic has been replied to. Now, if that was a question that I asked and somebody answered, we'd start to gather likes. So notice we can like people's responses. I can't like my own. I just posted this one. We can also vote up or vote down. We can mark as featured or we can mark as answered and so on. So if somebody said, how do I open Word? And somebody said, well, choose start run and type in Word. If that was an answer that worked, then we can go through and click onto answered. And that gives anybody who's reading this post the fact that, yeah, this response, this worked. Don't waste your time with the other 1,000 responses, because this is the one that worked for me, and they can go through and apply that. Okay, so notice also that there's a few other things in here. We've got the ability to see the badges and so on that people have been awarded. And like I say, people have questions, but other people also like to help. And when you've got somebody that likes to help, what we can do is start rewarding them. So if you mark something as answered, you get rewarded for it. If you respond to something, you get rewarded for it. If you moderate things appropriately, then you get rewarded for it, and so on. So what we can do is define how many points you get for doing all of these things, so somebody can then become seen within inside forum or forums as the subject matter experts. And again, their replies will carry some weight if they're the subject matter experts with several badges against their name. So some of the other features that we have in Social Squared, at the top here, depending on your permissions, obviously, we may be able to delete the topic. We can also make the topic sticky, which means it's going to remain at the top of the forum. So this is perhaps the most relevant post to do with childcare, so we could make that sticky. It's always going to remain there at the top. Sometimes you might ask a question and you get inundated with replies. Maybe you've already got the answer that you're looking for, but people will still go on and reply further. So all we can do is just simply lock it, and that stops the ability from replying any further. So notice the reply options have now gone away from within that topic. I've also got a threaded view, or the view where we just see everything in descending order. So threaded view will show indentations for replies and replies to replies. Obviously that alternates back to the flat view again. We can show featured posts. We can show the answer. So again, if there's pages upon pages of replies, we can see just by clicking the show answered link there what the answer was. Okay, and also we've got the ability to subscribe to it. So maybe this is something that I'm really interested in as a topic. I want to subscribe so I start to receive email notifications should people reply in the future. So that's how we can basically use the tool from replying to topics and providing feedback. If we wanted to create our own post, then simply we can go into the relevant forum. So in here, I can see there's actually 2 topics this time. We can add a new topic in here and give this a subject. So we just put pension discussion. Did everyone receive their pension? Blah, blah, blah. So that's the question that I want to ask. Again, I could tag that with pension and add that topic. So that becomes my my new topic. We can see that it's been created. It's at the top of the forum, and people can now start viewing it and start replying to it, and we'll be able to track that from within here. You can also subscribe to entire forums as well. So it doesn't have to be just a topic that you're subscribing to. I can just hit that subscribe, and then anybody posting with inside this forum will notify me as well automatically. Okay, so that's our forums and forum groups and how to create topics, how to reply to topics. What if we actually want to go through and create a new forum group? So what we can do is click onto the cog in the top left-hand corner here for forum settings, and simply click onto Add Forum Group. And in here we can add a brand new forum. Let's call it Exercise at Work. So we can add that. And inside that forum group, if we click onto forums, we can then go through and add a new forum called Running Club or something like this. So it's a lunchtime running club. And what we can also do is put moderators in here as well. So a moderator is actually somebody who can take control of the forum to make sure that topics are created in the right place. So if I just choose a demo user here, so we can create a forum, but if we were to create a topic in a forum, let's say it's to do with playing squash, and we put that inside the running club forum, the moderator would be able to move that topic into the more relevant forum. So they're just making sure that everything is posted in the right place, and they can also make sure that there's no language that is inappropriate or anything like that for the post, and to make sure that responses are accurate and so on and so forth. So you can set up moderators, and that's nice and straightforward. So there's our brand new forum group. We've got a forum with inside that forum group, and what you should see now, if I go through and add a new topic, so where is the running club? So I want to join. Can you send me details, etc.? We could put in the word running, and we'll tag in there and create that. And notice that this hasn't actually appeared straight away like the last one. This is actually now awaiting moderation. So demo user 10 would need to go in, they'd need to approve it, and then it's going to appear for everybody after that. So that's just a great way of controlling that content. So the other things we've got on the left-hand side here, we can see what are popular topics. So if we just want to jump straight into that, see what's popular. We can see what's new. So it's the recent activities. I can also go through and see the most active users. And we've also got a tag cloud as well. So whenever we've used those tags, like the childcare one, I can click straight into that, and it'll take me into the childcare offering. There's running, which appeared as a tag, so we can click onto that. Of course, that's currently awaiting moderation, so we're not going to see it. But there we go. We've got that ability to go through and search the content that way. Another way of searching is to, of course, use the search. So we can search on the word childcare, and that will bring back any posts containing that word. And we've got the from and to if we want to refine that search as well. So whilst we're still in SharePoint, what I do want to show you as well is what happens if we change the look of our site. So it's nice that we've got this sort of blue theme that fits in with the site here. If I was to change that, if I change the theme to teal, you can see how that affects Social Squared straight away, along with the logo in the top left-hand corner, and all the font and the text and everything has switched. If you prefer grey, then it's going to change to that one, green, and so on. So it always blends in nicely with whatever the theme is set for inside of SharePoint. Okay, so that's our forum, and really straightforward to go through and add that inside of SharePoint. So this is a simple web part, so you can go to any SharePoint page or any SharePoint team site and go to add Social Squared forums. That drops the web part onto the page there, and you can begin using it straight away. So let's also take a look at Teams. So within inside of Microsoft Teams, I've got all these different teams, and we've got channels within inside the teams, and across the top here we've got the ability to go through and add a tab, and one of those tabs is the Social Squared tab. So I can go through and select that, save it. Okay, and it's picked up two forum groups that I created earlier, one called SharePoint, one called Teams, and we've got two different forums in there, one called on-prem, one called online, and we've also got Teams channels as well. So it's also brought up the configuration of the web part. But basically, I've got the same functionality. So if I want to go through and create a new forum group within inside of Teams, I can easily do that. So clicking onto the cog, again in the top left-hand corner, it offers exactly the same functionality. So we can go through, add a new forum group. So we could call this Microsoft Planner. So maybe this is used to provide tech support. And add a forum called General or something to that effect. Okay, so we've now got our forum created with inside a brand new forum group. We can edit the properties of that as well, the order of it, and so on and so forth. And if we navigate back to the homepage, there's the Microsoft Planner, and we can go through and start posting our questions inside the relevant forum. And that's what the rich text editor looks like with inside the Microsoft Teams environment. So really simple to create. Like I said, soon you'll also see this available as a personal app inside of Teams as well, which means we can go through and add a personal app on the left-hand side here. So personal apps will span multiple teams, and what we've also got is the mobile app as well. So it's just a couple of screenshots taken from my phone, so you can see that same human resources discussion forums shown here. So we've got the benefits, skills, and training. This is navigating into the benefits, so we can see all the different benefits in there. And along the bottom here, you've got those same popular topics, recent activities, active users, and so on. So you can use Social Squared in multiple places, like I say, SharePoint, Microsoft Teams, and also mobile device as well. Okay, so that's a quick taster of it. Obviously, if you want to know more, feel free to arrange a demonstration with us. We'll be happy to go into more detail on Social Squared and base that around your needs as well. So around your specific organizational needs, or you can just navigate to this this link here, and that will take you to our website. So that's lightningtools.com /product/social squared client-side web part. If you actually just navigate to our homepage, you'll see it under the products menu. Here it is. That's where you will find Social Squared, and in there, there's videos to watch on it, all the documentation. You can, of course, register for a webinar. You can download a trial, and so on. So please feel free to explore it there. And if you have any questions, feel free to respond to me. So you can find me on brett@lightningtools.com. So that's brett@lightningtools.com. But otherwise, many thanks for attending.